Um, I'll wait for everyone. Okay, if anyone, Elena, let us know when you're ready to get going and we will get started.
I'm ready.
Okay, if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand. We will start with Kareem.
Hey, what's up, Lana? Nice seeing you back.
Hey, good to see you.
Obviously, let's start off with, first time, back banging and full contact since, like 2 years now. So just kind of curious, what's that been like for you and how does the body feel responding to that?
Well, first of all, it's been mentally incredible just to be back with my teammates and competing again. It has been quite a long road, and I don't think you realize how much you miss it until you're actually back in it. And it's like, my goodness, this has just been so refreshing to get moments on court with my team again. So that has been awesome. Also, I have incredible people who found me and monitoring my way back. I've never been in a situation where it's going to be a return to play buildup like this, but that's what occurs after 2 back surgeries and still dealing with some things. So I'm grateful for those people because I'm like, take the leash off, here I come. I'm having so much fun. I want to do more. But obviously we need to take it practice by practice, day by day still. I still don't have a date where I can tell you like, yes, I will be playing on this day. Like that's not what I'm going to do. It's not what my people are going to do. We're not going to box me in for something like that because truly it is still day by day. Am I doing more and more each day? Yes. Some days, am I doing the same thing I did the day before to see how I can handle this type of load? Yes. But it has been amazing to play basketball again.
And not to trying to box you in, but I'm curious, what do you want to see or want to feel to be comfortable, to be ready to kind of make that decision? Mike said, hey, we'll reevaluate at the end of the week, but I'm kind of curious, what do you need to feel or be able to see you do at practice or whatever to be comfortable with saying, okay, now we can take a next step?
Yeah, I need to see that I'm in 5-on-5 situations consistently for a few days in a row. I mean, I don't have that much time where I can say a month straight of practice of 5-on-5. Like that's not going to be it. And I do know too, when the day comes where hopefully I can be back in games, like that's going to be part of me getting reps. But I do need to see that I'm not having symptoms, too many symptoms, obviously, after continuing to build up and consistently building up. So yes, it's great if I can go, 5-on-5 for a period of time and the next day I feel great, but I need to make sure I can do days in a row of that and taking that pounding and see how I respond and feel.
Cool. Perfect. Thanks. Thanks for the time. Thanks for coming back. Good to see you. And I'll turn it over to the rest.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Yeah, Elena, you talked about how you sort of gauge yourself physically. I wonder if you could talk about what it's like to mentally get yourself back. You've been a competitor all your life, but you have been away from games for a while. How do you do that, and how is that coming along?
Yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be tough. I need to continue to practice my mindfulness and my deep breathing and meditation. That's been huge to keep my mind clear and to try to focus on the present moment. It's been humongous for me throughout this process, and it will be as I return to play too. It's been a long time since I've been on court, and I'm not able to get as many reps as I'd love to. But I know that I can't beat myself up. I know that when the time comes and I can be on the court, I certainly can impact this team in a positive way. That doesn't always have to be, scoring or efficiency or whatever those numbers are. It's like, how can I get others feeling good about themselves, getting our offense and defense going? How can I, create an impact in that way? And I'm certain that I can do that.
Just a quick follow-up. Have you all along known you would be able to come back, or have you had some moments where you were genuinely worried?
No, I've had many moments of being very concerned. So it's been a really tough process, but I've been able to, stay the course and just try to honestly lock into each day, because backs are different. Like I've had some injuries before, but this has been something where like, my goodness, there's a lot of gray. And as many times as I want that like black and white answer, it hasn't been that way. It's been a lot of gray, a lot of confusion. But I've had incredible people around me to help me on those tough days, and realize that we are so lucky when we get to play this game that we love and to enjoy every second of it.
Thank you.
Olivia?
Hello. So you talk about the mental aspect of getting here, getting to this point, getting back on the court with your girls. Really, who helped and guided you through this process? You talk about the back being so different. So, I mean, how much harder was it for you to go through this injury compared to the others?
Yeah, this has been much harder and much longer, and much more painful. So when you combine all those things, it makes it a tougher process. I can't just point to like one person. There's been a huge group of people that have helped me throughout this. Obviously, my wife being number one, and dealing with a lot that, you know, I bring home, or a lot of days where I'm just like moody, because being in pain causes you to be moody or upset or not your best self. So she's had to deal with a lot. I have some great close friends who've helped, my family. My mom has been through back surgery, so she's another one who gets it. She's felt it. So she's a great sounding board. And then obviously my Mystics family, and everybody who's been a part of this process and like trying to get me back. They've all been so incredible. And my dogs, I can't forget my dogs. They have been so great. There's been days where they lay down with me on the floor when I'm not feeling great. They know that I don't walk them as much, but I walk next to them, and Amanda has to be the strong one. So it's been an entire family and team that's kind of helped me along this route.
Thank you. Good to see you back.
Thanks.
Howard?
Hey, Elena, welcome back. It's great to see you.
Thanks.
You talked a little bit about this, but I just kind of want to dig a little into it about the expectations from yourself about how you are performing and how you're contributing. You've obviously had no shortage of injuries throughout your career. When you've been on the court and come back, you've always been this transformational figure. You've been the center of whatever team you have been on. Have you changed the way you're thinking about that coming back? Is it necessary to think differently about that in your own mind? And what are your expectations for yourself as you return to the court?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly going to have a minutes restriction that I'll be following, I'm sure, probably most likely throughout the rest of the season, but we'll see how that goes. So that's something that's different and going to be tough for me, especially, you know, some games it takes a little bit to get into the flow, but to know like, oh, I got to be pulled at this time, like that's something I can't be too focused on. Like I have to play in the moment, because if I'm too worried about, oh, I have 2 minutes left, like that's not going to be great for me or the team. I still expect to play the way I play. I want to be able to facilitate offense, to get the ball moving side to side, to create mismatches, to make reads, to be a leader, to be able to do things defensively where we can switch off of people and put people in, you know, uncomfortable situations. And I know too that I've changed my movements, trying to be, you know, more efficient and be rooted from the ground up. So it's a new body that I'm kind of playing into that I'm trying to figure out. But all things I've worked endless hours on, and I'm excited. I know it's not going to be perfect. When is it? But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm certainly, you know, proud of where I've come from, and that I'm even in this position right now to be practicing and trying to work my way back.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Jen?
Hey, Elena, so good to see you back.
Thank you.
You mentioned, you know, the changing up your mechanics for walking and running and sitting, and I'm curious, has that become second nature yet? Or when you're out on the court, are you still thinking about, you know, I need to be moving this way instead of that way?
You know, it's become much more second nature than before, but there's still moments where I have to like lock back in and figure things out. And I have great coaches, and especially the coach who's been helping me, change my movements and work on my body daily and see, how things are going. He's been absolutely incredible. He works on the wizard side, but he's come and he's helped me tremendously. So I'm constantly being coached through things. And, there's moments it'll be like, I'm back into 4-on-4 or something like that. And I like go crazy and my speed's too fast and I'm like a little out of control. And it's like, okay, pump the brakes. Let's slow the game down. Let's see how you're moving through this. And like, it's obviously a learning process, but I am definitely getting much better at it, stronger at it. It's coming second nature, but like, it's literally always a beginner's mindset for me where I come in every day and like have to attack each day as it's new. And you never get to, perfect everything. It's something you always have to kind of check back in and lock into. And I have a routine that I do every single day to help me get that before I even step on the court.
And then you mentioned, needing to feel okay the day after you practice, to know that you're in a good place. How have you felt, last week when you first got back into practice? Like, how have you been feeling on that day after?
I've been feeling really good, which is so exciting for me to see, especially knowing, where I'm coming from, where I at times couldn't even go out to dinner with my wife because I couldn't sit for longer than 10 minutes without really bad pain. So like, it has been a monstrous jump that I've, trusted the process and been like, okay, I'm going to stick with it, keep doing everything I possibly can to get out there. And I've been feeling very good. So it's exciting for me to wake up and be like, all right, I'm going to go again. I'm good.
Thanks again for your time today.
Of course.
Tyler?
Hey, Elena, it's great to see you.
Thanks.
You said this has been a trying process for you, and there have been some tough spots through it, as I'm sure we can all imagine. But what's your confidence level at right now for you being able to make the full return that you want to be able to?
I'm confident. I feel like things are going great. But I also have been in this 2-year process where there's been some super highs and some low lows. So I'm also not, going to get too far ahead of myself. I'm really just trying to do my best to stay each day because it's been the best way for success. Like, take care of today, and then tomorrow be grateful for another day and assess and go again. So I'm thrilled with where I'm at. I know there's more to go, but I am excited and confident in where I am.
And then one follow-up, what was it like watching Team USA this year and doing what they were able to do? Obviously different circumstances for you, but just what was it like watching them from afar, especially maybe Ariel and Tina?
I mean, it's always incredible to see their dominance and to know sometimes it just looks so easy from our eyes and from the viewers' eyes, but knowing like how tough Rio was and like each game, it's really tough. And to be able to handle that type of excellence and demand is something that, I mean, I don't think other dynasties have done. So I'm so proud of obviously my teammates first, but all of Team USA, and then what Sue and Dee have done. Like, it's been quite an incredible ride. They've taken USA basketball to new heights, and they're obviously the big reason for why they've been so successful, but it's amazing what they've been able to do.
Thank you.
Christy?
Elena, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So good to see you. I know you've answered a lot of questions about the physical and some of the mental things, but just knowing how super ultra competitive you are, how is it to gauge that tightrope of going all out until you feel something in terms of pain or you're uncomfortable with your back, or are you preservative? Do you not go 100%? Because you don't want to feel the pain? Like, what is that like for you?
No, so when I'm on the court in drills, I'm going full tilt 100%. At that point, that's where I am at this point. Yes, when I started back on the court, it was like slower, and it was like, okay, we're going to start at this, and you're going to start at a 50% pace. And then we're going to assess from there if you can take it up to 60, 70, and so forth. And then it's even been as small as I was 1-on-0 on the court by myself. And then it's like 1-on-1, and then keep bumping it up slowly and slowly. Now I'm at the point where I go full tilt. It's not like I have to just, hold back and see. They pull me before I can get to that point of being too hard. And that's why they're here to protect me. Because even now in practice, I'm like, oh, like I want to keep going. I want to keep going. It's like, no, you hit your load today. We're going to see how you do, assess tomorrow, and we're going to go again. Like, we're thrilled with how it's going. So luckily it is not all up to me. If it was all up to me, I don't know how great I would be at controlling the comeback. But yes, I am going full tilt, and it feels great.
That's what I definitely wanted to know about that. And then the other last question for me is, a lot of different players on this team now that you've made your way back in a Mystics uniform. How has that been? I know you said it felt great, to be back in the mix with your team, but a lot of different pieces that you're working with now. What has that been like for you?
Yeah, that's been fun too, because it's different. Like, not only am I trying to learn them, but they're trying to learn me too, because a lot of us, we haven't played together. But it's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of time to watch, so I feel like I know where players are comfortable and where they want to get the ball. I think they're trying to still learn me at times. But yeah, I've had too much time to watch and start learning all their tendencies, but I guess it's good. I use that time to figure that out.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Appreciate you.
Kevin.
Elena, it's great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
How did watching the Olympics on TV was it difficult to watch the Olympics on TV, and not be there? And kind of a two-part question with that. Did just going through this, how did going through all this kind of develop your perspective in terms of how long you feel like you can play and how long you would like to play?
So your Olympic question, I was much better at watching the sport that I do not play. As much as I did want to watch Team USA, I kept up with them, but I really struggled to watch any of the basketball. And it was I think it was best for my mental space to not, sit and put myself through that. And I mean, I want to play for as long as I can. And I think the best thing is that I have people helping me to keep that in perspective. Like, I have, hopefully, knock on wood, a long career ahead of me. Yes, this has been super tough, but I'm not like trying to just say this is my last season. Like, that's not it at all. I'm preparing for many, many years to come. And I have certainly created a heck of a team that is, even giving me hope to get back on the court. So now that I've got this team, I'm super excited about things I can also do in the off season to just continue to improve and get stronger and healthier. But yeah, this is a game I'd like to play for a good amount of time. I feel like the way I play with my size can help me too, to have a long career. And also, I haven't been going overseas and pounding my body in that way. So yes, this has been crazy and tough, but I love this game and I still think I have a lot more to play.
Thanks, Elena. Great to see you back.
Thanks. Good to see you.
We only have time for two more, so we'll go to Kellen first and then Christina.
Hey, Elena, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
On those, like you mentioned, on those trying days, those challenging days, like what motivated you? I guess what motivated you to get back to this point on the court, to get back with the team? Like, what were those things that kind of pushed you?
My motivations have been quite different from day to day. There were days where I was motivated that I'm going to get myself to feel good enough that I can go have dinner with my wife. Like, basketball wasn't even something I was thinking about at times like that. And I had to keep that in perspective. Like, my goodness, I've got to have a better life than this and this pain. So there were days with that, but then there are also days where I would come in here early and be here all day long. And there are people along the road who like help me so much. I don't know how much time you have for stories, and I'm sure we don't, but Russ was one of my biggest helps throughout all of this. I work with Russ's body guy, who now is a part of the Wizards organization, but there were days where Russ would come in way too early on a game day even. And he would come in and rebound for me as I'm barefoot and shooting, 2-footers close to the rim. And like days I just didn't want to have it or be upset and just like wanted to be in my feelings. Like there were moments like that where he would show up and it would just bring me out of a funk and be like, I got this. Like I can keep doing it. He believes in me. These people believe in me. My teammates believe in me. I can do this. So there were some days, yeah, I wasn't believing in myself, but others helped pull me through it. So it was quite a trip, and I've met some amazing people around this place that have helped me a lot.
Thanks so much, Elena.
Of course.
Hey, Elena, it's Christina Williams with Girl Talk Sports TV. I know everyone's talking about the recovery process, but I'm actually interested in some of your off-the-court efforts with helping to grow the women's game. During your recovery process, you've also put your money where your mouth is in terms of investing in women's sports with Just Women's Sports and your Youth Girls Sports initiatives. During the Olympics, 59% of Team USA's gold medals came from, women's sports, and we see how the game is growing. Why is it important for people to continue to invest in women's sports, more so athletes like yourself?
For me, my biggest thing is always trying to leave this game better than when I came into it. And I certainly know that by doing things on the court, by, scoring points, breaking records, winning championships, that's not just the way to do it. And I know that the impact sports can have on young girls' lives, not even just for young girls who are going to be professional athletes, but girls who want to be doctors or want to, grow up and be politicians or whatever that may be, or whatever company they want to run. I know the importance that sports can play for young girls. And my biggest thing is that the dropout rate of girls in sports, especially when they hit adolescence, has been 50%, and that's way too high. And unfortunately, I think a huge part of that too is because if they can't see her, they can't be her. And it's really hard to be inspired when they feel like, the world isn't behind us female athletes. So for me, it's a multifaceted way to go at it. Obviously, pour into our youth sports, find ways to get girls involved or get them the things they need to play, but they also need to see that our professional athletes are being treated right or out there being marketed. You see their faces. So I think it's a huge thing. I think we're headed in a great direction. Are we there? No. But I think the momentum's there, and that's exciting to see.
Thank you.